What's going on, everybody? It's JP, the Outlaw, the voice that makes them moist, your favorite color commentator, here to give you my preview and predictions as far as Backlash for tomorrow. Plus, I got an exclusive news clip with what's going on with a certain somebody on the Raw roster. Some news dropped out not too long ago, leaked. I like to go over it. And, yeah, the shit's funny. So, that's for tomorrow's show. I got some stuff mapped out. But anyway, let's go over the fucking Payback, which should be no comeback after WrestleMania, because it's like whack pay-per-view after another whack pay-per-view. And sorry about my Raw review, because I should have ripped that show a new asshole, but I was trying to be positive. Because I don't want to cuss, but you guys know how I get. I get real angry, get real loud, start yelling and shit. But I don't want to do that, because y'all ain't come to hear all that. Y'all came to hear what the fuck is going on in the WWE and so on and so forth as far as news in the wrestling world. So anyway, that was a little dragged out. Here we go. Kickoff show. Cesaro, Enzo and Cass versus the Club. First of all, I think the Club should win this just because you already fucked over Enzo and Cass. Again, I don't see them being no more than future R-Truth and Goldust. And unless if you can get them off of Raw, like, give the Shining Stars back to Raw and trade Enzo and Cass over to SmackDown. But hopefully they're talking about doing another draft for 2018, which, again, I'll go over in tomorrow's review. Tomorrow's news anyway, on the JP show. Like I said, the Club really can benefit off the win. You need somebody, if you're going to keep the tag team titles on the Hardy Boys, you need somebody to go up against the Hardy Boys, and you need a heel faction, and I think the Club beating the Hardys, turning Matt broken, which would be a better storyline run than my original pitch of Bray Wyatt beating the Hardys and turning them heel. You got to do something with the Club, and I feel as though the Club would benefit more off that storyline than Bray Wyatt would. I think they would do way more with it, but I think the Club would benefit more as far as storyline and plot development and all that good stuff. Cruiserweight title on the line. You got Austin Aries versus Neville. Neville, in my opinion, is doing great promo work. As far as 205 Live, I do not watch 205 Live anymore. I used to give 205 Live with my NXT review. I might start getting back into that. I might if I find time during the course of the day. But just giving off their segments on Raw, which have been the best segments of the show. Again, is everything simple. It really has been no interaction between Neville and Austin Aries since WrestleMania. They've pretty much been working off of this TJ Perkins and Jack Gallagher's thing. So I don't know how that's really panning out. There's no proper build, if you ask me, for these two to go back at it again. You could have threw them in some type of crazy tag team. And again, I don't watch 205 Live, but I hear that 205 Live is where this story is really developing. So what the hell is the point of having the cruiserweights on Raw if the story for the Cruiserweight Championship, which is supposed to be exclusive to Raw, is only featured on 205 Live? Just saying. Anyway. Yeah, Neville, give it to Neville. Pause this Austin Aries thing. Throw a four-way up in there just to get interest back into the cruiserweights. You got to do something. And you got enough cruiserweight talent to pass that title around a couple of times. Because nobody has been two-time cruiserweight champion yet. So you can take it off of Neville, but I don't really think Neville should lose it at this point in time. For the Raw Tag Team titles, you got the Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Again, I fucks with Sheamus and Cesaro. The intro is alright. It could be better. I liked it them back in the day where Cesaro was still like the heel. Sheamus was still the heel and Cesaro was still like the babyface. Now it's like they're both baby faces showing respect to the veterans being in the Hardys. They ain't been on. I don't think they've been on Raw since. Jeez, what? 2009, maybe. Both of them together haven't been on a WWE product since like 2009. So they're paying their dues after the matches that they had all month building up to. I don't even think it was a month. It was maybe even 2 weeks. All of the 2 weeks building up after WrestleMania. The weird, awkward handshakes that they give towards the Hardys can indicate that, all right, we don't trust you, but, appreciate the handshake at the end of the match. Now, the Hardys have been going over all week, so I have to go with Sheamus and Cesaro winning at the pay-per-view just because of WWE fucked up booking. The way they book a show is just, if you think that the fan favorite's going to win, it's not going to happen. It's always the opposite. So, and then pretty much for this pay-per-view, this feud, I would like to see this feud and maybe a couple others. I'll go over it at the end of the preview, but the preview and predictions, but I'm not really into it. I don't really have anything drawing me here, but yeah, I'm going with Sheamus and Cesaro in this because they seem like the more liable team to win. Plus, I think the whole thing with Anthem Sports and the Hardys is worked out by the end of this weekend. So if that's the case, you can run Broken Matt Hardy right off the bat if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can run it just like that. Freaking moving on from that. Even though, again, Cesaro, Sheamus, you can break them up, put them in the mid-card division somewhere, either Raw or SmackDown. They don't have to win the titles. I would rather they break up. You could push Enzo and Cass in the club somewhere in between there. Anyway, it's fucked up what happened to the Revival, because that should be them. Anyway, the Kingslayer, Seth Rollins versus the Destroyer, Samoa Joe. And I feel as though Joe really needs this win over Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins just beat Triple H, I think, at WrestleMania. He debuted his new finishing move, which is some Kenny Omega ripoff shit. And that's cool. I mean, who hasn't ripped off a move or two? Everybody's doing the super kick. It really is not a big deal to me. But give credit where the credit is due. It's really a ripoff of Kenny Omega's move. So, I like how the WWE is trying to incorporate that strong style from Japan, but without giving it the proper highlight from somebody. Like, if Kenny Omega came in and did the move, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But because Seth Rollins did not go anywhere and like he's been there and he just, all right, I'm gonna whip up this new fucking move. Like, all right, he adopted the pedigree after the curve stop got banned because it fucked up Randy Orton. That made sense. Triple H was his mentor, so he would adopt that move to be his finishing move. Now, the Kingslayer move could be better. And given the fact that Seth Rollins already has damaged knees, why would you give him a finishing move that could fuck up a particular knee, his right knee, any fucking way? Throwing it out there. Okay. But yeah, Samoa Joe for the win, just based off the build. Samoa Joe wasn't even on fucking WrestleMania, so there you go. You gotta give him something. Everything leading up till WrestleMania, Samoa Joe looked like a fucking beast. And now you get to WrestleMania, it's nothing for him to do. He didn't even come out in the Seth Rollins versus Triple H match like he should have. But again, WWE. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. I like Alexa Bliss. I think she's one of the best female heels that the WWE has right now. Promo, in-ring ability, she's good. But to make Alexa Bliss the first women's dual women's champion, it's just not going to happen. It has to be somebody of a Charlotte caliber. And I think that's the only reason why Charlotte went over to SmackDown, to make it a first, so she can be promoted and basically just enhanced by having that under her belt. That's it. I already know, as far as she's going to be the Ric Flair of women. She's going to have 16 title runs, fucking crazy ass robes throughout her whole career. It's just, that's what's going to happen. I'm surprised she's not even in a limousine yet. They need to put that in her promo. Have her pop out of a limousine like Ric Flair, if you're going to do it like that. But again, I don't think they would give something like that to Alexa Bliss, even though I would like for Alexa Bliss to win, because fresh eyes under the big lights is always good, I guess, if you get what I mean by that. Like, it's not that I don't like Bayley. I just don't think they're doing what they should be doing with Bayley. By now, Bayley should be transforming. She should be coming out of that NXT babyface role into this more dominant female competitor role. And I think that's the problem why Bayley hasn't gotten over with all of the fans, the adult fans anyway. She's over with the kids. And I get that she's like the female John Cena. You got to keep that around. But when you're going up against a bitch like Alexa Hill, it's just you can't have that. You can't have a baby go against Alexa Bliss on the mic anyway. And it will always come off as freaking Bayley struggling to combat with Alexa Bliss on the mic. They had to send Sasha out there to save her. So that should tell you something. And I said it in my Monday Night Raw review that, Sasha's playing this big sister role, which is cool if, again, the plot is for them to see each other at SummerSlam. I'm cool with Alexa Bliss not winning the title, but you got to give me something at SummerSlam. Is Sasha Banks going to go up against Bayley? And if she is it going to be the rematch from NXT Brooklyn? Are you going to let these two women go out there and have a clinic? That's all I'm saying. You got to take the cuffs off from WWE, because they can actually move inside the ring. And that's another thing that gets Bayley over. She actually knows what the fuck she's doing out there. So, yeah, just a slight change of the gimmick, and she'll be all the way over. Now, the next two matches are SmackDown featured matches, which makes no fucking sense since this is a Raw branded pay-per-view. But again, ever since the Superstar shakeup, shit has been funny inside of the WWE, which just absolutely makes no fucking sense. Now, Y2J versus Kevin Owens. I gotta go with Kevin Owens. Just because, again, I'm a big fan of the goddamn open challenge. How the fuck you think they found John Cena? Okay? Kurt Angle's open challenge found John Cena. John Cena's open challenge exposed the new talent coming out of NXT. Sami Zayn versus John Cena. Kevin Owens versus John Cena. I like what Kevin Owens is doing with the title. Now, prior to this, again, it's just to make mention, none of the champions, let's say the past 5 champions, has defended the title as much as Kevin Owens since having it. So with that, and since his inception of getting the title, you gotta give him a break, man. And especially after the way they booked him with the Universal title, they played him. That wasn't Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wasn't. Yeah, he was an asshole. Yeah, he was a goofball. But when he was in the ring, he was the fucking shit. He wasn't running away. He wasn't diving back out the ring. It was full throttle. All right, you gonna punch me? I'm gonna punch you, and one of us is gonna win.